know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pitch it, and our running back coach didn't take the biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. I was almost going to say Vietnam, but good morning out there to the sports world. This is Martin Houston. Got Xavier Houston on the line with me. We're going to be adding DC Capstone Report to the conversation here in just a moment. We're live, local, and ready to get things rolling right here on your home for Alabama sports on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC on the radio dial. Yes, that's right. We've expanded our radio broadcasting coverage area. Let us hear about it, man. Comment out there if you're enjoying the additional coverage area that you get via the broadcast on the radio airwaves. And, of course, the Martin Houston Show broadcast live on the live stream. And I'll give you all of that in just a moment. But let me tell you a little bit about what we got for the show. And this is the Martin Houston Show powered by MaXSports, the sound of Bama sports. This is your show, your team. Let's talk about it. Of course, your team is on break this week, but the playbook includes DC Capstone Report, and he joins us to talk good, bad, and ugly. We'll get, hey, what's his turning point in the game? Or maybe he has points, key takeaways, and more, maybe a grade. Join us on the live stream as well. We got quite a few people out there at Martin Houston 35, the Martin Houston 35, the Martin Houston 35, Martin Houston 35 fan page. And that's all on Facebook. And then, of course, Martin Houston 35 on Twitter and YouTube. And then MaXSports. You can find this there, and X and O Sports on Facebook. Other options as well, and I'm sure some of you are like, I'm not on either one of those. Well, hey, welcome into the program. Either way, call us on the Alabama One hotline at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline. Or send your comments, your reactions, or your questions to us in the live chat. Alabama with the big win over Tennessee. We had Kennington Smith III on yesterday. We have DC Capstone Report this week, and we're going to get a double dose of those guys this week as Kennington Smith III is going to join X on Thursday. And I'm sure they'll be talking a little recruiting. But then I don't know where all they're going to go. I'll find out from them. And then DC, who joins us today, is going to join us on Friday for a roundup. So on the bye week, you're going to get a double dose, even though there's no Alabama football this week. Maybe even talk a little SEC. It all sounds good. But remember this. While it's all sounding good, remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Doing well. How are you?
Man, couldn't be any better. God is awesome, and like I said, I started to show off. This is the day He's made, so I'm going to rejoice and be glad in it. DC, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, Martin. X, how y'all this morning?
Doing well. All right, DC. Well, we'll get right into it. Of course, we may have some callers calling in here in a minute. But until then, we'll we'll figure it out. MHS 0407 said he's taking a quick semi-vacation in Orange County, California. Man, don't get nothing on you out there. He said, I must be nuts getting up at 3:50 a.m. Pacific time to listen to the show. That's what I'm talking about. Dedication to the show, dedication to Bama. Just another diehard Bama fan. Roll Tide. Got to give a shout out to MHS 0407 DC for being up and at 'em with us this morning.
Yeah, that is a great commitment right there. To have a listener that's up that early listening to it. That's great.
Especially on a bye week.
Yeah, especially on a bye week.
Hey, MH0407, I'm gonna need you to. This is what I want you to do, MH047. I want you to call our station. I want you to call the number, not necessarily to talk. I want you to call Noah, and I want you to get Noah's address and everything. I need to send you something, man. I need to get you a hat or a shirt or something. You need to be out there representing the Martin Houston Show, man. I need to get I need to get you something sent out to you for that dedication. So if you would do that, MHS0407, if you'll call the station 205-342-9904, give them your address, and I will get you something shipped out. How about that, man? Roll Tide to you, man. I appreciate that. All right, DC. Let's just start off with good, bad, and ugly from the game, and then we'll see where it goes from there. And
Well,
you just start. Let's start off with which one you want to start off with, the good or the bad?
Let's see. Let's start off with the bad.
Well, let's just talk. We'll go with the bad, and then we'll go through matriculate our way through the others.
Well, I think the bad, in this, I had two of them. One is just a slow start in the first half. I think that was bad. I don't think Alabama came out ready in the game. I think there was a little disconnect there. Should have been ready. May have peaked a little too soon. I'm not sure what happened in that situation, but I think the play calling in the first half offensively was bad. I think we lacked a little bit. That was definitely bad. I'm you're pretty sure you can see where my good's going to come from, but it's just the bad part was that first half. And the other bad part, in my opinion, was some of the officiating. I don't think the officials did a good job officiating this game on either side, but missed several bad calls against Alabama in this. And I know that Tennessee is screaming about officiating, but they may have been watching a different game than I was watching, except I think the officials are bad on both sides. And I say that we talk about it a lot, but in the SEC, I think we're large enough. I just think the SEC officials ought to look at something that we're a large enough group. We're large enough, perennial best conference in the nation. We ought to have better officiating, full-time officials, or something that makes a difference on a commitment to calling the game fair on both sides and not missing so many things. So those are my bad. I think that they turned at least the first one turned into good. That's where I'm going to go for my good.
X.
I have to agree. The bad was the first half of the game. I mean, it was ugly on both sides. Even though the defense did some good things with the stops in the red zone, but it was just overall a bad first half. And the ugly, with the play calling on the offensive side, just didn't seem like there was any rhythm or anything getting put together until the second half.
Yeah, and I would on my ugly, and I'm probably going to disagree with you guys on, especially. I mean, I'm going to disagree with you, Xavier, on the defense being bad in the first half, but as a whole, but I know what you're talking. I know why you say that, but I probably disagree with it. But we'll circle back on that. From an ugly standpoint, the ugliest part of that game to me, and it was consistent from start to finish. And it's been consistent for weeks, and it will cost us a championship if we get into that position, and that is Kool-Aid McKinstry. You cannot give up. What's the average number of first downs you think a team gets, DC?
In a game?
Yeah. If they have a really dominant game, they get what?
15,
20?
17?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm talking about a good game is 17-18. If they dominate an opponent, they get 20-25, right?
20-25. Yeah, if you're dominating, it's a one-sided game.
Right. A good game, if you get 17-18 first downs, you've had a really, really good game. We gave up probably eight first downs. They said he gave up 7 in the Arkansas game, 70 yards in the Arkansas game. He probably gave up 80 in the Tennessee game. So that's 15 first downs in the last 2 weeks. And he's just lost his confidence. So that was the ugly, and that was consistent throughout from the beginning of the game to the end. And I was shocked that they never did it. We don't even need a punt returner. We just need a guy who can catch we need a punt catcher right now. And that would be a positive improvement in the special team. You cannot do that. They flipped the field with a 70-yard punt that went 45 yards in the air. And it wasn't like a bad punt. Like it's one thing when a punter, like these rugby-style punters and stuff like that, they be kicking those low-line drives and the balls be turning over, and they're hard to field. That was not the case Saturday. That's not been the case with any of the ones he's not catching. Your thoughts on that, and then we'll get the break and come back on the other side.
Yeah, I agree 100%. On a podcast that went up yesterday, I have a dedicated session to that on some things that we can fix during the bye week, and I think that was one thing that has to be fixed. Or you're right, it's going to cost us a championship down the road. There's no reason for a starting punter not to be afraid to field the ball. In my opinion, he's afraid to make a mistake, afraid that he's going to drop the ball. He's had some muffs. And I think it's in his head. I don't know what you call it. He got the yips. He's got a mental block. Something about when that ball is in the air and people are staring him down, it's not working. He just can't do it. And you can't give up that much yardage. And it's far more than time to have tried someone else back there. I mean, you got Kendrick Law, you got Isaiah Bond, who used to do it before he got hurt, and then you got Caleb Downs. They all have shown ability to catch the ball. And that's what I agree with you. We need someone to catch the ball and get you 2 or 3 yards if they can, or if they can't, just do a fair catch the ball and field it cleanly. And it would be better than what we have right now. But if we don't clean it up, and if we don't dedicate the time during this bye week to get that fixed, it will come back to bite us down the road.
Yeah, we cannot afford to lose field position in the first half against LSU.
No.
And give them a short field or give them free extra first downs, or us give up first downs.
We'll keep the conversation. One of the best punters in the SEC right now with Bramlett. He'll kick the ball so high that the LSU defenders will be on you when you're catching the ball. So I mean, you got to have someone in there that's very confident in fielding the punt.
Absolutely. Hey, we'll be back on the other side. We'll keep the conversation going right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. We got DC Capstone report in. Pat is in. He wants to talk about the Tennessee game, so we'll talk to him on the other side. You can get in on the conversation via the comments and or the traditional way. Call us at 205-342-9904. I want to remind you about Billy's Cooking Restaurant. Hey, there's no game day this week. But you can still get those game day specials. Call him at 205-632-8617. We got Wing Wednesday coming up tomorrow, 50-cent wings, Fish Friday on Friday, Soul Food Sunday. Either way, he'll take care of you. That's Billy's Cooking Restaurant located in Holt, Alabama, across from the old Holt High School. Ted and Martin Houston told you to stop by.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. The interstate is steady all the way out to Mercedes this morning. Now, if you see conditions, give me a call, 205-886-8886. These are some super deals from Townsend Nissan, 2468, up to $10,000 off select Nissans. Go see them. They're your friends in the car business. And I'm Captain Ray.
Join Tide 100.9 this Friday from 12 to 2 for Fridays at the Free. Come see Lars Anderson and Matt Coulter for Big Noon Sports live at Innisfree Irish Pub, Tuscaloosa's best bar for 25 years and counting. Innisfree's Irish Pub has delicious pub food with an Irish flair. Come have the Innisfree Lucky Lunch, a delicious meat and three, while Lars and Matt get you ready for the Bama game this weekend. Fridays at the Free, every Friday during football season with Tide 100.9 and Innisfree Irish Pub, located at 1925 University Boulevard, downtown Tuscaloosa.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather stays dry today. The sky mostly sunny. The high around 80. For tonight, fair with the low at 56. Tomorrow and Thursday, rain-free weather continues. A good supply of sunshine both days. Highs up in the low 80s between 80 and 83. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 61 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by MaXSports on Tide 100.9. Man, it is so awesome to have you guys in on the show. Hey, man, I'm gonna have to bring back X something I had, man, a long time ago. It was called Martin's Maniacs. So we're gonna have to start that. I'm gonna have to bring that back. I haven't had that going in a while. Just heard from Garth Brinkley out in California, Southern California. He's up every morning at 4:00 listening to the show, and also he listens when I'm on with Ryan Fowler of the game on Monday mornings in the afternoons at 4:00. So welcome into the program, Garth. So glad that you're up and at 'em with us as well. So thank you so much for that. And also we got a Bam Bam 72, first time seeing him respond. And he said, DC, he said, surely these next 2 weeks, Saban can find someone who can be more consistent with returning punts. I mean, that is such a, coach, if I can do my old coach Stallings interpretation, God almighty, man. If we play well on offense, if we can run the ball, stop the run, play well on special teams, we're going to win most games. Well, that's true. But the other side of that, if you play well and stop the run and stop and run the ball, and then you give up 80 yards on punt return, you're probably going to lose a close game somewhere. And Curtis Moore II, DC, saying, the way I see it, when you lose by 14 points, you can't blame it solely on the referees, referring to Josh Heupel's own pause when he was asked the question during the post-game conference. That can't be a main excuse, in my opinion. I don't know what was his big complaint. If anything, him and all of these young coaches, DC, I know I'm sidebarring real quick, but they listen to all these analytics and stuff. That's why they're losing. He went for it fourth down. He was in control of the game. And he went for it twice on fourth down, and we stopped him twice. That's why he lost the game. Did you see the Florida State game against Duke? Florida State was winning 20-17, DC. had the ball at the 4-yard line. Their quarterback gets hurt. Their starting quarterback, Riley Leonard from Fairhope, Alabama, gets hurt. It was in the fourth quarter or in the third quarter, maybe fourth quarter. But they were winning. Could have went up by 6. The next 3 drives, after 20-17, in 8 minutes of clock, they were down 38-20 after that one decision to go for it on 4th down with his backup quarterback. It's these analytics. That's why you're losing, Heupel. You were crazy for going for it twice on 4th down, and we stopped you both times. And you gave us short fields. He gave us. Let me say it this way, and then DC, I'll let you go to your bad or good, whichever one you want to go to. DC, he gave us back every yard we lost on punt by not punting the ball. Think about that for a second. He was averaging 50 yards. He was averaging over 50 yards a punt. He gave us back on those 2 possessions. He gave us back the equivalent of 10 first downs at least, because our punt returner wasn't catching the ball. Your thoughts?
Agree 100%. I think Josh Heupel was just trying to deflect the attention away from his bad decision making to talk about officials, and he had no room to talk about officials after what happened in Knoxville last year. So I just think it was a way for him to deflect. He was deflecting the heat from him because of the bad decisions he had made. And he'd already had to answer a couple of questions about going for it on 4th down. He was very short and succinct to the point, and said it was, it felt like he had to go. It was a gut feeling. Felt like he had to go for it. Thought he could make it. And so he was at that point when he was asked about the officiating, he just paused, didn't say anything, which let everybody know that he was crying about the officiating. But look, they didn't have anything to cry about in this game, and it's just one of those things where you get deflecting, trying to take the heat off yourself about those bad decisions you make.
Absolutely. So let's get to Pat real quick. Pat, what you got? You're in with Martin, Xavier, and DC on the Alabama One Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, good, bad, and ugly. And starting off with the bad, y'all already hit on it. The first half, slow start, the punt returning, terrible, and that was definitely bad. But the good has got to be what we did not hear or did not see but we know the results of it. Coach Saban's speech at halftime had to be the best. Martin, I believe you could write volumes in your book. Talk about adding a second story to Give Me Another Inch. Hey, reach down and give me more, boys, is exactly what he had to say. Give me more.
Actually, from my understanding, he didn't say a whole lot. From what I heard, he pretty much called him challenged him to ask him, what do they want to be? I mean, DC, did you hear? From what I heard, he actually says what he said.
Room is that he never, and Pat's right about him it's not, sometimes it's not what you say, but when you say it and how you say it. And my understanding is he walked in the locker room and he never addresses the team when he first comes in the locker room. He always waits till they leave to go out on the field. But when they walked in the locker room, he addressed the team, got everybody's attention. Everybody knew this was something different. And he had no flowery words. He had no words of wisdom. He just challenged them and said, hey, I thought y'all wanted to accomplish something. What do y'all want to accomplish? Because if you want to accomplish something, you can't play a game like you just played in that first half. You didn't play like winners, didn't play like champions, didn't play Bama football. So each one of you's got a choice to make. And if you want to accomplish something, you got to choose to go out here and do it in the second half. And if you don't, just keep playing like you're playing. And then he sat down.
All right. Do you guys not agree with me? I think that was probably the best half of college football we've seen in Tuscaloosa in many a year, going all the way back to when Martin played. Martin's defense was absolutely fabulous. In '92, the only team that was fairly close to them was La Monroe. Not La Monroe, but the other one over there on the other side of the state. Well, it was just absolutely fabulous what we saw out of that. The defense was playing lights out. Hey, the offense was clicking. Their running game was clicking. And, where's that running game been all year? Good Lord. It's
been in the offensive. It's been in the offensive coordinator's playbook, and that's where it'll be next week, unless something changes. This offense, I'll let DC respond. Thanks, Pat. DC, you respond to that because they hear me all the time what I think about our OC and our run game. I'll let you
I'm going to say
respond.
this, Pat. You are correct. It is one of the best halves of Alabama football, on both sides of the ball that I've seen in quite some time. Definitely the best half this year. I said that yesterday. But man, that leads me into my good. My good was the changes that we made at halftime. That we played so much better in the second half. In my opinion, Kevin Steele is one of the best defensive coordinators. Not because he always gets it right the first time, but because I think he makes the adjustments the best. He looks at where they took advantage of him. He looks at where they got us in bad positions. And my gosh, we adjusted. Last year they got us in bad positions and we never adjusted. They kept throwing to the same guy because we wouldn't stop it. He looked at it. He comes out with a different game plan, and he adjusted us into a defense that allowed us to get to the quarterback, stop the runs, they didn't gain many yards at all in the second half on running the ball, and we were able to put them in passing situations that we were able to rush. He did to them what he should do as a coordinator. In my opinion, the offensive coordinator in the first half didn't do anything different. When you got the commentators on TV talking about innovative offense or creative offense, and to me, it's what we should have been doing the whole time. It's the vanilla run plays. You got a problem when they're trying to talk up your offensive coordinator. So I think the offense, I don't know who called the plays in the second half. I hope it was Tommy Reese and he made some adjustments, but it was completely different than the play calling in the first half. And Martin's correct. And if we don't open our playbook up and on this running game and use our running backs, I said on your show last week, Martin, when you got a running back that's averaging more than 4 yards a carry, give them the ball. That's exactly what Jace McClellan did in this game. 27 carries. He averaged over 4 yards a carry for those 27 carries and made a difference in the run game. Why can't we do that every time? That's what I don't understand. Why don't we put our players in the best position to make plays?
Yeah, that's the part that I think has been eating at most Alabama fans, and it's crazy. You're talking about running the ball and how that was so successful Saturday. We find once again every blue moon we'll see a quarterback run, a design quarterback run, and Milroe gains 10, 15, 20 yards. But for some reason, we don't feel like that needs to be a part of our offense on a consistent basis. And I think because of the way that they've handicapped him, he doesn't run on his own. So give him the designed runs to use that part of his game.
I agree with you 100%. X, I thought myself, I think they've told him not to run. And that's what it looks like. He's, wanting to run, but they told him to stay in the pocket. But here's another point, and I think Martin will back me up on this. Run the ball to set up the pass. The reason we scored the second play of the second half was we ran the ball on the first down and gained a lot of yardage on that one. So when we came to first down on the second play, we faked the run and we got a deep pass down the field. Because what were they looking for? They were looking for that 29-yard run again, because that's the analytics that says, hey, if you gain 29 yards on first play, run it again on the first down on the second play. And when you play action pass, you say we're going to run it that way and then throw it deep. The safeties bite, and we're talking about in a game today where you need two or three steps on the safety to bite, or 2 or 3 seconds. You don't need him to blow the play out of the water and run all the way to the line of scrimmage. We just need him to take a step toward the line of scrimmage for our guys to get behind him, and that's exactly what happened on first down. So we noticed we threw the ball we ran the ball on first down, and then we threw the ball on first down. Imagine that. We didn't throw the ball on second down, which 90% of the time in the first half, that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, that guy actually hesitated. He didn't even come forward. He hesitated.
Yeah.
And when he hesitated, what's his name was by him.
Yeah.
It was a perfect throw. So everything there was really good. I will come back and say we'll keep the conversation going. Best half of football followed the worst half of football over the same time period. The team that won the second half, 27-0, could beat any team in the country. The team that played the first half could lose to any team in the country. That's the scary part about this team. Which one will show up? It's scary for Alabama fans, and on the other side, it's scary for everybody else in the nation. No one wants this team to make it to the playoffs, because if that second half team shows up, Title Town will be T-Town. We'll keep it going right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier with DC Capstone Report. More of that conversation up next.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. The interstate is steady all the way out to Mercedes this morning. Now, if you see conditions, give me a call, 205-886-8886. These are some super deals from Townsend Nissan, 2, 4, 6, 8, up to $10,000 off select Nissans. Go see them. They're your friends in the car business. And I'm Captain Ray.
Hi, Barry Buckner here, and I want to say whether you come from T-Town or Birmingham or those sweet home Alabama towns like Utah, Demopolis, Selma, and Centerville, it's an honor and a privilege to have you choose Tuscaloosa Hyundai as your transportation partner. I know those roads. You drove past more than one competitive dealership to get here. So let me say, whatever you need, Tuscaloosa Hyundai is at your service. You want to test drive an electric vehicle? Hyundai Ioniq 5 and 6 are award-winning. Bigger ride for your growing family? Test drive the Palisade. Need a pre-owned vehicle under 100,000 miles? Great choice with our 1,000,000-mile warranty protection, no charge. No matter where you come from, no matter what you need. It's an honor and a privilege to serve friends and family who voted us best of the best. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Join Tide 100.9 this Friday from 12 to 2 for Fridays at the Free. Come see Lars Anderson and Matt Coulter for Big Noon Sports live at Innisfree Irish Pub, Tuscaloosa's best bar for 25 years and counting. Innisfree's Irish Pub has delicious pub food with an Irish flair. Come have the Innisfree Lucky Lunch, a delicious meat and three, while Lars and Matt get you ready for the Bama game this weekend. Fridays at the Free, every Friday during football season with Tide 100.9 and Innisfree Irish Pub, located at 1925 University Boulevard, downtown Tuscaloosa.
Register today for the Tuscaloosa Oktoberfest 5K presented by Mercedes-Benz U.S. International on Saturday, October the 28th in downtown Tuscaloosa. This Oktoberfest-themed 5K begins at 9 a.m. in Timerson Square and benefits the American Cancer Society. The 5K course will feature fun and German food along the way. Whether you're running or walking, all participants get free admission to the Tuscaloosa Oktoberfest Festival. Learn about the 5K and register at TuscaloosaOktoberfest.com.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And did we mention it's aluminum free? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 500. LumeDeodorant.com, code 500 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 500.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Oh, I think it was important. I mean, they still hurt us at times with the quarterback runs. You know, quarterback draws a couple times. They had a couple perimeter plays with the quarterback. And he's a good player. He's a big guy. He's fast. He's a very good athlete. And that creates another gap, you know, for you to have to play, which was one of the reasons we wanted to play odd, you know, so that we could play not only their runs, but his runs better. But we didn't feel like we were playing coverage the way we needed and getting the rush that we needed. So, but They gained 230 yards rushing last week. I don't know what they gained today, but I know it wasn't that much. So it was a pretty good job.
All right, that's Nick Saban on stopping the run. We'll come back to that. But before I do that, I want to encourage you to go out and get the Encouragement Factor. Give Me One More Inch is my most recent book. It's a great, great tool if you want to be an encourager, learn how to be an encourager, learn how to be that person that helps people understand what it means to give 100%, how to give their best and be their best. If you want to be invested in the lives of others, become an encourager. You can't be an encourager unless you're willing to nourish people, invest in people, build relationships with people. Encouragement Factor will help you do just that. Go to Amazon.com. Currently available in ebook format. Thanks to Amazon, I finally got my proofs. My paperback should be up and ready by the end of this week. I'll let you know when that is available in paperback for you to order. We'll give you more details on it. Thank you for your support. That's the Encouragement Factor. Give me one more inch. All right, DC, that's Saban talking about the importance of the run game, stopping the run. We had a couple comments. Bam Bam 72 said, "Yep, Martin, how scary will this team be once they start playing 4 quarters of football? Hopefully we'll see that come November 4th. RTR and Virgil Williams saying, "Could you imagine being the team that has to play Alabama when they put together a complete game like the second half of the Tennessee game, 27-0, by the way? It wouldn't be very pretty. Watching this team can give you a headache." Noah, I think we actually had someone from the app that responded as well, listening in from South Carolina, I think.
That's right. That's right. We had Ronnie from South Carolina send us a message on the app saying, I agree. Punt return's a problem. Thought defense played very tough for 3 quarters. Offense had better game plan second half.
Yep. So that's thanks, Ronnie, for listening in over in Olar, South Carolina. It's pretty awesome to get to feed the sports world of Bama Nation, DC, through the power of the internet and apps and all of that. But DC, this is where everybody says that the defense didn't play well, but 3 quarters, and I agree, they played unbelievable for 3 quarters. I think they actually played well for the entire game. And you said this earlier, when it comes to what's happening, what they do in the second half, they absolutely shut down people. It's amazing. And what happens at that first drive, they that was new. What they did in that first drive, we changed up something based on what we thought they did the week before, right? You heard Saban say it in the audio. We went odds, which means we had three rushers and 8 defenders, and that actually hurt us, ironically, because we didn't get to the pressure we wanted to get. And undoubtedly, I guess when you let Milton kind of sit back there, he's a pretty good passer. But other than that one drive, if you really think about the first half, other than that one drive, and then the last drive where they got momentum off of the interception, we dominated that entire game. I mean, in the first drive, that's kind of what happens, because you prepare for what you think they're going to do, and they came out and did something different, unless you're Alabama. We have no ability to script our first 15 to 20 plays.
Yeah. We
do exactly what you, in the words of Dennis Green, the former Minnesota Vikings coach, when it comes to playing Alabama in the first quarter, they are who we thought they were.
That's right. That's exactly right. You don't get it is what you get every time on the first play of the first quarter.
I'm sorry. I'm having way too much fun with that. I mean, it is so sad. We're so predictable. I mean, I can close my eyes and go, okay, just tell me when they snapped the ball. Okay, it's 2nd and 7. Okay, and we ran the ball up the middle, and and to Jace, and we got 3 yards. And now it's 2nd and 7. Mill run, and now Mill road. Okay, snap, and then pass for 3 yards. And now it's 3rd and 4. Oh, we should. It's going to be a pass, not a rollout, not a read option. Oh, incomplete pass, punt. Oh, that's the first drive. And we've done that about 5 games in a row. What, Xavier?
Ever play action on that first play? Everybody might be open.
Right. I think if we would call a play action pass on the first down against LSU, we'll have 3 wide receivers running by themselves behind because they'll all be in the backfield thinking we're going to run the ball.
Hey, could you imagine, DC? I know we're having fun, but think about this. What would happen if we just decided that the best thing we do is the deep ball, and that you can just call it? Let me ask you this, DC. Seriously, if they're not going to use jam and injustice any more than they are, when are they going to go ahead and make the decision that if we have 35 runs, that 28 of them need to be Jace at least?
Yes.
Because there is and I like Roydell. I think he's a hard-nosed dude. He's paid his dues and all that. But Jace needs to be rewarded. I said this on Ryan Fowler's show. We need to see Jace run that ball 25 to 30 times just to see what he can do, because he appears to be one of those guys that we've not seen this yet from him. He's not Derrick Henry, but he's Derrick Henry light, 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 meaning he gets stronger as the game goes along, and he's leading the SEC in broken tackles. Well, guess what that means? If you give him carries 21 through about 28 to 30, you're going to start seeing some 15 and 25 and 40-yard runs. And I guarantee you, if Jace McClellan gets a 25 to 30 carry game, he'll have 185 to 200 plus yards.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, feed him the ball. He seems to get better as the time goes on. But we don't do that. We don't run the ball enough. We don't commit to the run enough to have 28 carries for one back.
Well, to me, we do. We just need to stop. What I'm saying is, if you're not going to run the other guys, stop splitting the carries. There's no reason, and like I said, I'm not knocking Roydell. There's no reason that the carry should be as close between those two. Let's just forget the other 2 guys. They're not going to play. They're not going to be significant contributors this year. Between those 2, DC, if you were running this team, would you have the carry split the way they're split right now based on the production?
No, not based on production. I think Jace would get the majority of the carries, and Roydell would spell him when he needed a break.
I think if we run the ball 35 times a game, just say 35 is that magic number, I think Jace should have 20 to 25 of them, and then you split the rest between Milroe and Roydell, and that's designed runs for Milroe, not sacks or scrim. 35 designed runs, 5 to 7 of those should be for Milroe, and then you give the rest to Roydell in spells.
Jace is getting 20 carries. I don't think y'all hearing what I'm saying. I want to see Jace get 25 plus carries. Jace gets to 20 carries. Go back and see how many times when Jace gets 20 carries does Jace have 100 yards. I guarantee you most of the time, if he gets to touch 20 times, he's getting 100 yards. Give him more. Feed him more.
This past week was the first time he had more than 17 carries.
Yeah, this is the first time he had more than 17 carries. He had 27, right? And it's the first time most carries all year long. And he still averaged over 4 yards.
His 17 carry game was 100 yards.
That's right.
So, y'all talking about this year?
This year.
Yep.
Did he do it? Did he get 20 last year?
He got 19 last year, but his best game was 17 for 156.
Yeah. He hadn't gotten 20 carries. This is the first 20 carry game he's gotten since he's been in Alabama.
Think about that for a second. All right. We have to get to break here. Coming back on the other side, we'll put the finishing touches on this edition of the Martin Houston Show with DC Capstone Report. And remember, DC will join us again on Friday. So what we don't get to today, he and X will circle back on Friday. Plus, I'm sure they'll have some other interesting conversation. Maybe even talk a little bit of the SEC since Alabama's off this week. Stay tuned for more conversation right here on the Martin Houston Show. Hey, go check out Alabama One. Alabama1.org is where you can find out all the great information.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. The interstate is steady all the way out to Mercedes this morning. Now, if you see conditions, give me a call, 205-886-8886. These are some super deals from Townsend Nissan, 2, 4, 6, 8, up to $10,000 off select Nissans. Go see them. They're your friends in the car business. And I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Tuesday morning, MLK Jr. Boulevard in Northport will be closed today for some time. It's the beginning of long-anticipated upgrades along the heavily used roadway. The groundbreaking ceremony is set for this coming Thursday at 9 a.m. It'll be at the 2 Mile Creek Bridge to commemorate the beginning of the work. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather coverage throughout the day. It's absolutely free. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9 and Local Bank are proud to present Hometown Heroes. Each month, we'll take nominations for local heroes from law enforcement, firefighters, educators, and medical professionals. Our Hometown Heroes will be featured on the Tide 100.9 website. Log online at Tide109.com and nominate a Hometown Hero today. Winners will receive lunch at Texas Roadhouse. Local Bank is a proud sponsor of Hometown Heroes. Local Bank puts customers first. Local people, local decisions. Local Bank, 1635 McFarland Boulevard, Tuscaloosa, and online at mylocal.bank.
Nissan has a car for everyone, for every driver who wants more, whatever that more may be. More action, more guts, more turbocharged excitement. The Nissan Z and GTR put together power and style into a perfect combination. Your adrenaline will kick in when you take advantage of Nissan Z and GTR's launch control. Launch control takes the car from a complete stop to a powerful boost without hesitation. When you drive a Nissan, there is no compromising your next adventure. At Nissan, more is all they do. So get your endless thrills in a new Nissan today.
It's back, the Captain Ray and Randy College Football Forecast Show, where we pick the winners against the spread. Join me and Randy Smalley Friday evenings at 11 right here on Tide 100.9. 15 minutes of fun and information. It's presented by Randy Smalley Floor and Tile.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports Xavier Houston.
Hey, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Hey, go check out Harvest Church. Harvest Church, you can check us out. Loving God, loving people. We'd love to have you come check us out on Sunday from 6, not 6 to 7. That'd be the morning. That'd be our show from 9 for Bible study and 10 for our worship time. Hey, DC, tell them where they can find out exactly where about your sponsors and what you got coming up, sir.
Capstone Report Facebook page, DCCapstoneReport.com. We got our podcast is up there this week already. And check out Lance's other sites, RollTideBama.com and FreelancePictures.com. He's got some great pictures of the game against Tennessee already up. If you haven't checked it out, you're missing out. And my sponsor that allows me to be on the show each and every week is Karen Cottingham, realtor, right here with the Williams Group at Keller Williams. For all your real estate needs, 205-887-4008.
All right. Hey, that's Karen Cottingham, KW Tuscaloosa, Karen Cottingham at KW.com. All right. X, you like you had something, X, you were laughing. What you got, man?
Yeah, no, well, I'm just looking at Roy Dale's stats, talking about it. In his career, he's only had 5 games where he's ran the ball at least 10 times. In 3 of those games, he's gone for 110, 129, and 78. So he's a guy that if he gets touches, he gets yards.
Well, that's to DC's point last week when DC was on with us. DC's made the following. DC said, when all 4 running backs average almost 5 yards a carry, that's an average. That means that you should be running the ball. That's what average means. That means that on average, if you give the ball to the running backs 3 times, you're going to pick up somewhere between 12 to 15 yards on average, which means on average, you're going to keep the drive alive. On average, you're going to get first down. And anyway, all right, DC, we do have a caller I need to get to before I let you get out of here. Chuck, thanks for your patience. You're in with Martin, Xavier, and DC. What's on your mind?
Good morning to you all. As some of you brought up Dennis Green, I watched the game tonight when that's when he was coaching the Cardinals that one season that blew that lead against the Bears. And when he made that, I remember that press conference. But the reason for calling, I watched that game, and when I was looking at the defense, I kind of had an Alabama flashback. I said, that's the defense I remember, how they used to stuff people. Like going for it on 4th down, and I saw the toughness in that defense. It seemed like it has made a difference since Kenneth Steele has been back there at Alabama, this time as defensive coordinator. But when I was looking at that offense, it looked like they were experimenting through the game, but they finally pulled it together in the second half of the game.
DC, thanks, Chuck. Great observation on both sides of the ball right there.
All right, Chuck. I hear you saying that. I mean, I think you're correct. Great on point with the defense, and I will go as far as to say I think we've been experimenting all season on the offense.
You're right.
All right.
You're right.
All right. Thanks, Chuck.
Right,
I appreciate it. That is such a great observation, DC. It does feel like sometimes we're experimenting. But hey, DC, what was your turning point in that game? We didn't talk about that yet.
Well, I think second half coming out and hitting the deep ball for a touchdown was a turning point for momentum. But I had several. I think stopping them on 4th down. I mean, them going for it on 4th down really flipped the field for us, and I think that was a big turning point. But the one that put the nail in the coffin had to be the strip sack and scoop and score by Jihad Campbell and Chris Braswell. Those actually put them so far behind they couldn't come back. But so there was several turning points for me in the game.
DC, I'm going to set you in
the whole game.
Do what, X?
It took that long for me to feel like I could breathe watching that game.
Hey, listen. I have there's a couple of us that text during the game, and it was so funny how many times we were typing and we would hit send and we would be typing the same message to each other, and it would come in to each other, and we would be saying the same thing. It was kind of crazy. It was almost creepy. It happened about 3 times during the game.
Yeah, we were more consistent than our offense was.
Yeah, we definitely were more consistent. Our offense was, especially. And the funnest part was when we typed, "Watching this team makes our head hurt." We typed that. Think about that. We just randomly we type, "Watching this team makes our head hurt," and it does. It really does. Because you're like, "Woo! Oh God, no." Hey, but DC, I got a couple things. I really want you. This is really to set you guys up for conversation on Saturday. Caden Proctor, when they help him, is what? When they help him pass protect, he is what type of player in the run and pass game?
I think he's a fair player.
Yeah, right. When they help him, he's good on pass pro and he's not bad on run. We can run behind him, so just help him out every play. Sacrifice, y'all may talk about this more. Sacrifice the 5th wide receiver by helping Caden Proctor. Do not get my quarterback hit in the back another time with an unblocked receiver. If they're worried about him running the ball and getting hurt, DC, they need to be more worried about him getting hit in the back from a free runner. Yeah. Number two, Jihad Campbell did what Saturday?
I think Jihad Campbell was one of my players of the game. I think he came out. It was his coming out game Saturday. I think he proved himself to be a really good linebacker.
In this bye week, Alabama needs to do what?
I mean, with Jahad Campbell or just overall?
No, Alabama needs to do what?
Oh, they need to find somebody to catch a punt. They need to work on helping the left tackle, and need to have a consistent offense that's going to run the ball with play action passes.
Coming out in the first quarter, Tommy Reese. Coming out in the game, Tommy Reese will do what?
Run the ball on first down, throw the ball on second down.
But I'm hoping he will.
I'm hoping he will play action pass on first down and see all of our receivers running wide open and realize, hey, I can do this every game.
Hey, DC, tell where they can find you, and thanks for being on with us on Friday, man.
DCCapstoneReport.com, DC Capstone Report Facebook page, and you can find me on Twitter at DavidCott50. It's a pleasure for me to be on your show. I look forward to helping X out on Friday.
Absolutely. And hey, thanks to all of you who listen up. And hey, listen, if you're out there and I don't recognize you and you're from like California or somewhere else like that, let me hear from you, man. Like MH0407 getting up early out in California because he's on semi-vacation. Garth Brinkley, who does it every day. Thanks for being a part of the show. Olar from South Carolina, welcome in, man, listening in out in South Carolina. That's DC Capstone Report. That's Xavier Houston. I'm Martin Houston. That's Noah Haynes behind the glass, pressing all the right buttons. Remember this: trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. Always acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. And like I said, man, hey, help me out. Go check out that book, The Encouragement Factor. You be encouraged as you learn to encourage others. The Encouragement Factor. Give me one more inch. We'll be back tomorrow with more conversation regarding Alabama inside the playbook, and we want to see more of what. We'll talk about it right here on your home for Alabama Sports Talk 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
It's a celebration.